to a series that I've named For the Love of Exercise. With me today is Vivian Chen, Spartan Racer, and other things. And so Vivian, thanks for joining us. And we've got a couple of things in common, haven't we?
We're both Kiwi.
Yep. And we've both lived in Dunedin, yep. Yes. And for those of you who don't know, Dunedin is like this hidden gem in New Zealand. When people think about New Zealand, they think that Queenstown's really the cool place, which it is. But when they discover Dunedin, it is a wonderful place to go to, so highly recommended. Yeah. So what brings you to Singapore? How many years have you been here?
I've been here for just over 2 years now,
yep.
Almost 2.5 years. I came over to get some overseas working experience.
Yep.
Yeah, and I had a few friends that were working here already.
Yes.
So I'd come to visit them, and like the lifestyle seemed really fun and
yeah.
very different to New Zealand lifestyle. So
definitely.
I'd give it a go. Yeah.
Living in the eternal summer. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I only need one wardrobe, which is really good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Except for when we go back to New Zealand, we pull out our base layers.
Well, I went back in summer and I still found it cold.
Yeah, indeed. Well, your background, in fact, you studied in Dunedin, which is a medical, it's predominantly medical, and you studied dentistry.
Yeah, I studied dentistry for 5 years in Dunedin. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's a fairly long haul. So, of course, so you got to know a lot of the cool trails in Dunedin. And so name a couple of those, and what sort of terrain is it? Can you compare it to anything in Singapore?
I guess the closest I could compare the trails to would be Matt Ritchie. I'm sure everyone's familiar with Matt Ritchie here. But there's a lot more hill running in Dunedin. So one of the routes I liked doing was called Craigieburn. Yeah. And then it connects up to Flagstaff, which is a really steep and long hill.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, a lot of struggles up there. And then there's also Mount Cargill, which is a good one. A bit of a drive out and then up the hill. So
Mount Cargill's 800 metres above sea level. Just to put that in perspective for Singapore, Mount Faber's 120 above sea level. And the elevations, so I've ridden, I wouldn't be bothered running, but I've ridden up Mount Cargill, and there's some pretty steep climbs up there as well. So that really gets you working. So your background before Spartan, we were talking earlier, but tell us a little bit about what were you doing and what drew you eventually to Spartan racing?
So when I was growing up, I played tennis for about 10 years at a quite competitive level. Club tennis, regional, national tournaments, and I was training almost every day. But I stopped when I went to university, and then I picked up, as we were just saying, trail running in Dunedin. So did a bit of trail running for a couple of years there, and then moved for work up the country, more trail running there as
Wellington.
well. Wellington.
Great place.
Started a little bit of like gymming when I was in Wellington. But it wasn't until I moved to Singapore that I think that side of things, like strength work, blew up for me, because I had quite a bit of time before I started working here. So I started calisthenics.
Right. Explain calisthenics, because I think that has a whole wide range of potential,
right? There's a lot of movements within, it's mostly body weight movement.
Yes.
Like pull-ups, planks, tucks, and levers, things like that. So I really enjoyed just doing more body weight movement. That was, I think it complemented running quite well. And then I heard about Spartan, I probably through social media. But I signed up for my first one in March last year. Just like 2 weeks before the race, I was like, okay, why not? We'll just do it, because I think it was like quite a good base with the calisthenics and running to get into that. And then I got hooked after that.
I can see how it wouldn't be hard to get hooked, and having spent a lot of time over the years competing in different sports myself, like cycling, triathlon, and then coaching for a fair bit, I've also noticed somewhat a migration of folks, as Spartan has had more races here. A lot of people have jumped in and tried them, and so we see different body types to running or pure triathlon appearing and actually rising to the top, where the style and the types of challenges that you've got in Spartan are a little more geared towards upper body strength, and but you still got to run though.
It's really like, I think you do have, it's a bit of like a jack of all trades sport, I think, in some ways. You do need to be balanced and
Well, as someone that spent a lot of years doing one-dimensional sports, I can really value the wellness aspect of doing sports that challenge you from a movement improvement and movement, anything that gets you moving properly in different directions has got to be good for you in the long run. So big ups for Spartan from a fitness point of view. And so tell us how your training has changed over the years. You mentioned calisthenics.
Yeah, calisthenics. Well, I had a very memorable race. It was actually my second race last year. It was a super, so that's the 13-kilometre run with about 25 obstacles. So I was doing quite well throughout that race, but in the last, last kilometre, I started cramping a lot. It was after I'm mentioning the Herc hoist, the pulling one. I started cramping, and the heavy carries were really like a struggle for me. So I realised after that race that I really needed to work a lot more on like functional training and like being able to like carry heavier sort of loads and things like that. Because I think with calisthenics, it's good for some of the obstacles that rely more just on your, body weight strength, but when it comes to those heavy carries, I wasn't training enough for that. So I picked up, in the past year, I've been doing a lot more functional training. Now you're fairly light at just over 50 kilos. So some of the challenges like the hoist we mentioned, Atlas ball and so on, some of those things are actually a fairly high percentage of your body weight. How do you get around that, and what's your strategy when coming into a race? Because you're a fairly quick runner, right? The running is the bit I look forward to.
So I see in the pictures on Spartan social media at the start of a race, there's you out the front by a long way, and most, you've already got quite a lead very early in the race. So is that part of your strategy of putting a race together where some things you may not be so inclined to be good at? How does that pan out for you?
So Spartan this year has been releasing the course maps a few days before the race, which is really beneficial. So I'll usually have a look through, and if I see some long running stretches, I know that's the bit where I really need to boost and get my lead. Because I know that with some of the heavy carries, I'm going to lose a little bit of ground. Not saying that I don't need to work on. I definitely need to work on that. But at the moment, I am definitely playing to my advantage, which is the running.
Definitely. So that's cool. There's a direct parallel there with triathlon, because you've got 3 disciplines plus transitions in triathlon, and I've had athletes over the years that have actually lost races by being poor at transitions. And they've gotten out of the podium because they haven't focused on that particular area. So nobody's good at all 3, and it's about mitigating your weaknesses by working on them, but also accentuating and taking your time in the sun and the stuff that you're good at, and really trying to build up a buffer.
Definitely.
So can we talk about the 3rd of August race, the race that has just gone by, and we saw you come into the last 3 hurdles with a quite a healthy lead. So talk us through that, and I know it may be a little painful from a memory. So
I was actually very happy with the result of that race at the same time. To come second was like really,
it was a pretty tough field. So you had something like a 30 to 40 second lead, I think, coming into the hoist pool. So describe how it all panned out.
So coming up to the hoist, I wasn't feeling unconfident. I thought, okay, I knew Alona wasn't too far behind me. And I knew she was going to, if she reached the hoist, she was going to probably do it faster than me. But I had done the hoist a couple of weeks earlier in Ipoh, and I didn't have any issues with it. But I think I heard from the organisers that this weight was a little bit heavy as this hoist. So when the first pull, I was like, gosh, I'm either very tired or this is definitely heavier. So I knew I was going to struggle with it, and at that point I actually just wanted to get through the obstacle without having to do burpees. I think after I had got the hoist up like 1 metre, I don't know, it probably needs to go up like 6 or 7 metres. I think Alona came in, and I knew at that point I probably lost that. I was definitely not going to pass that obstacle before her. And then she breezed through it, and then got through to the finish line.
Yeah, so a very creditable second for you in that race, and that was some pretty intense competition as well.
It was, yeah, it was stacked field.
Yeah, good. All right, so I'd like to run through a few fun questions, if I may. First of all, and this one wasn't on your briefing.
Okay.
If you could redesign the food triangle with no detrimental effect whatsoever, what would it look like?
Okay, so I love French fries and like chocolate.
Oh,
so that would have to be.
Yeah, you're talking my language.
Wait, that's the bottom. Wait, that'd be the bottom.
The thick end. That's your carbs.
Yeah, that's my carbs. What don't I like? Particular vegetables like tomatoes.
Yep.
Watermelon. I don't like watermelon.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be it.
All right. So I'm liking what I'm hearing there. Chocolate and fries. I like that food triangle.
Yeah.
So being someone who works and trains, and being a very busy person, as I'm sure you are, you've arrived home exhausted, you're hungry as anything. What can you cook in 15 minutes or less?
Pancakes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay, scrambled eggs.
Scrambled eggs, that's always a goodie. Pancakes?
Yeah, pancakes.
What do you put on your pancakes?
Maple syrup and butter.
Oh, there you go. Is it New Zealand butter?
If I can get it, the Anchor.
Yes.
At the supermarket, yeah.
Yeah, very good. All right, so now you're a doctor, you're a dentist, so I've got to ask you the question, do you brush your teeth after a meal?
Not immediately after a meal usually, but at least twice a day.
All right, so there's some quick rules and some quick tips from the dentist. So what would they be?
So if you've had something very acidic to eat or drink, I would advise to wait about half an hour before you brush your teeth.
All right, that would be wine or...
wine or oranges, anything very acidic.
Okay,
citrusy.
All right, half an hour.
You can also eat cheese to help with...
neutralise. Would it be New Zealand cheese?
Preferably New Zealand cheese.
Correct answer. All right, now your exercise kryptonite. What is the hardest thing? And I've seen some of your exercise on Instagram, and it looks pretty amazing. What would be your kryptonite?
Actually, things that involve a lot of flexibility. Yeah, I'm actually quite stiff.
Surprising.
Quite stiff. So anything that involves a lot of mobility is.
So give us an example of what that would look like.
Okay, so in terms of...
Would burpees be in that category?
No, burpees are okay. Pistol squats are a big issue for me. I don't think it's because of lack of leg strength, but I just can't, my hamstrings are just too tight.
Okay, all right. Now, in terms of training, where is your favourite training hangout?
So for me, I actually prefer the smaller gym boxes compared to the big commercial gyms. And I do visit like a few different gyms around Singapore, the small ones. So there's one called Garage, which is in Bukatima.
Yes.
Yeah, I quite like that one. And Bespoke Fitness, which is in near the Queenstown area. Yeah. I also train just at my home fitness station.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
I do that once a week.
Isn't it good how most of the condos have got kids' playgrounds that you can do stuff with?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that's good. Toughest race this year, what would it have been?
It would have been, so I'm wearing the finisher shirt for it.
Right.
It's the Beast that I did in Ipoh in Malaysia a couple of months last month. Yeah, so the reason why it was difficult was, firstly, a Beast is the longest distance.
Right.
Aside from the ultra, but it's a 21-kilometre run, and I had done the super the day before.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So I was already quite achy. Yeah. But I decided I could still race on the day, so it was quite smooth actually for the first maybe 14, 15 kilometres. Yeah. And then the fatigue really started to hit me, and I had to kind of walk/jog the last bit. Yeah. But and there was a lot of elevation there as well. Yeah. It's 3 big mountains to climb.
Yeah. Malaysia's got some pretty tough terrain, that's for sure. Biggest inspiration in your life?
I think I'm inspired by a lot of people, but I've been recently watching CrossFit Games. Yeah, and I saw the female winner, Tia Toomey from Australia. Yeah, she's just very inspiring watching her compete. Just amazing. Yeah.
Very good. If you were a movie title, described your life, what would it be?
Cool Runnings.
Very good.
I had to think of something with running in it.
All right, and now tell me about your musical side.
Yeah, I played piano when I was growing up. Yeah. Right. And then I, a few years ago, tried to teach myself the guitar. not the best, but I'll get the guitar every once in a while and I'll learn a few songs, and then I might not play for a while, so I'll forget it all again. So yeah, not consistent enough, but I do enjoy music.
Very good. All right, that's good for the soul. Hobbies outside of Spartan. You've taken up something new since coming to warmer climates, right?
That's right, yeah. So this year I did my open water for diving, scuba diving. And then I really enjoyed it, so I've been on 4 trips to dive since
Very
March.
good. Yeah. Okay. And goals for 2020? We're sort of at the back end of the season here.
Right.
You did qualify for Tahoe, but not going this time round.
This year.
So what's on your list for next year?
I would like to compete in as many races as I can and follow one of the series that works out. And if I can qualify for Tahoe, the World Champs, then I'll go.
Oh, very good. So now, World Champs for triathlon used to be at the same place each year. It would be really interesting if they moved it around different parts of the world, wouldn't it?
I heard that they might move it around, but I'm not sure whether that's going to happen.
All right.
I also do want to visit Tahoe, so I kind of hope they can.
I heard they throw in a bit of a horrible water section. I don't think it's that long, but the water's pretty cold.
I think you might spend about 5 minutes swimming.
I heard it's 14 degrees, so that would be Otago Harbour.
I don't know. I'm going to have to take some cold showers and ice baths.
That'll be some tolerance for sure. Well, it's been really great catching up with you, and also having seen you in action, which on the 3rd of August. Now that was the first Spartan race that Recovery Systems has been at, and we really enjoyed the athletes, the vibe, the tribal element to it, and it was really fun just getting to know, from our point of view, getting to know the sport and the personalities in it. So we're really glad to be highlighting you as a part of our series of exercise and loving what you do from exercise, and so we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
We will be following you, and we look forward to seeing you do very well in the next year or so.
Thank you so much.
All right.
And thanks for having me.
You're welcome. All right. Any bloopers? Can we throw in some bloopers? You want to say hi to Mum or Dad?
Hi Mum, hi Dad.
There you go.
New Zealand. I'll see you in China in a few.
All right. We've got the All Blacks Wallabies game coming up, the Burslow Cup too, very soon. So good luck to the All Blacks.
Yes.
All right.
Good luck to you all.
Bye-bye.